In this class, the go-to pose is constructive rest pose. Oftentimes, before I spend a little bit of time here, I'll start with something like this. You're going to bring your knees into your chest. Take them fairly wide apart, and your hands are pulling down and a little bit outwards, and your legs are pressing against the hands a little bit, right? And feel free always in any of these poses to wiggle around a little bit, move your body around a little bit till it feels like you're relaxing and settling. Now, the inhalation is moving down your back. The back is broadening and elongating as that happens. You can stay here for a few moments. One of the very simple, profound ways of dealing with back pain. Just lying down on your back, bringing knees into chest. Okay. From there, soles your feet on the ground, about as wide as the mat or almost as wide as the mat. Legs rest into each other so the knees touch. And you want the weight of the legs really nicely balancing each other out. Now, you can see I'm wiggling my torso back a little bit, creating a little bit more length through the spine, through the entire back. And once you're nicely situated and comfortable here in constructive rest pose, take your hands onto your lower belly. So important for us to get in the habit of taking time in our life and slow things down. When you're exhausted, when your back starts to feel a little achy, your body's telling you, slow down, I need rest. This is a wonderful pose to do. We'll spend a little bit of time here dropping into the rhythm of your breath. With your hands on your belly, feel how your belly expands and rises on the inhalation, right? Moves like that. And then descends and empties on your exhalation, right? So you'll keep your hands on your tummy. You're not going to push with your belly, but as you inhale, notice its natural filling and expansion. As you exhale, its natural emptying and dropping down. A few more rounds like that. Inhaling. Exhaling. And don't feel like you need to breathe deeply. Don't try and breathe in any certain way. Notice your breath. You can bring your feet a little bit closer together, separate the knees about the same distance, and bring your right knee into your chest. Keeping the shoulders, neck, throat, arms, everything soft and relaxed. Inhaling down the entire right side of your back. And exhaling as the belly's emptying, letting the right thigh, letting the right knee massage in against the abdomen a little bit. Inhale, your belly rises. Exhale, your belly descends. Right foot back on the ground, and exhale, hug your left shin into your chest. Relaxed mouth, relaxed throat and jaw. Easy breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Place your left foot back on the ground. You can always come back into constructive rest pose in between these, especially if you have a little more time. Bring your right knee into your chest again. And straighten your left leg. Extend your left leg long, ground the back of it, reach it as long, as far forward as you can. We're preparing for a reclined twist. Now this is maybe my favorite reclined twist, or the one that I very often will start my practice with, especially in the morning time. So the sole of right foot, place it on top of your left leg, just above the knee. Rest your right arm at your side, right palm open. And then your left hand, you're going to slowly guide your knee over to the left. We'll stay for about a minute. So inhaling softly, exhaling. You can see I'm really taking my time to move into the twist. Very often we see students who go too fast this way, and then this arm's off the ground, and this shoulder's off the ground. It looks very uncomfortable, and it's hard to breathe. Right? So think of doing your best to keep this somewhat relaxed and grounded. And then with each exhalation, letting yourself move, letting your leg move more to the left, and a little bit more spinal twist. So another 5 breaths or so here. Slowly come back from the twist. You can straighten your right leg and rest your arms at your sides for a few moments. Just notice, observe. Right now, the whole right side of my back, the whole right side of my body feels a little longer. And now I'll bring left knee into chest. Throughout this class, throughout this series, anytime that you notice that you're gripping too much or you're using unnecessary force where you don't need it, we become more and more skilled at observing that when that's happening, and through observation, sort of let go and relax. So now your right leg's extending long, a few breaths here, exhale, hugging left knee into chest. Inhale, right leg reaches long, exhale, left knee into chest. Let's move into reclined twist. So sole of left foot on top of right thigh. I'm going to extend and ground my left arm. I'm going to use my right hand on top of the knee, on top of the thigh. It's sort of a guide, and it's also a little bit of a weight. So, inhaling down your spine, and exhaling up the spine into twist. Again, take it slow. Inhaling fully. And exhaling, feel the natural release of your body into spinal twist. Go ahead and slowly come back up. And straighten both legs, let your arms relax and rest alongside of you. Right? So in yoga we call this, of course, Shavasana or corpse pose. If your back doesn't like this version of relaxation very much, then in between, right, much better that you do constructive rest pose, right? And you can sort of lift your pelvis up a little bit with your hands. Move the buttocks flesh away from your lower back, and that puts much more surface area, and that can be much more relaxing for some of us, for some of our backs, rather than Shavasana. All right. Moving along. Knees apart. Cross your right shin over thigh, right? Not the ankle joint, right? Right above the ankle joint. Flex this right foot. Apply a little force, not on the right knee, but down here by the thigh, pushing on the thigh. For some of you, that in and of itself might be enough. That might provide enough relief. Right? Or you can do a little sit-up. Lift your left foot, grab the back of this leg with both hands, right? And then lie back down. As you inhale, the leg that you're holding, think about bringing it in towards you. As you exhale, this right leg, moving it forward, right? So this right leg is going in that same direction that your hand was doing that self-adjust. So a few breaths here. Again, this is wonderful medicine for your hips and for your back. Then place left foot back on the ground. Right leg stays crossed right where it is. Now, you're going to start to lean over to your left side. Sole of your right foot comes all the way down to the ground. Sometimes that requires repositioning this bottom leg a little bit, but you can see I didn't need to in this case. The sole of my right foot's all the way on the ground. Right? I can either reach my right arm alongside my shoulders tight here or so. Sometimes that's my preference. Sometimes up and back alongside the ear. Amazing pose for some of these muscles back of hip, neighboring muscles of the lower back, and so by releasing all these surrounding areas, we make the lower back much happier. Good neighbors. Inhale, come on back. And place both feet on the ground. Widen the feet for a moment. Rest the knees into each other. Constructive rest. Let's move to the other side. Left shin, cross it over right thigh. Flex your left foot. We don't want to push on the knee joint, but you can push down here closer to the pelvis. That's the direction of the left leg and the left thigh bone. And you can just stay there doing that version, or a little sit-up, grab the back of your right leg, and then lower your head back down. Now, sometimes for some of us, this will end up putting our head in this position, right? If you have more tightness here in the shoulders and neck. If you find that your head is dropped back when you hold the leg, then much better to use something like a folded blanket, maybe a very, very small pillow, so that your head isn't thrown back. And on the inhale, we're drawing the right leg in towards us. On the exhale, left thigh bone is rotating externally and moving away from you. Place the sole of your right foot back on the ground. And you're just going to lean over to the right side. Now the sole of the left foot comes all the way down. I like to hold the ankle, but for a lot of people, they can't quite reach that far. Left arm at the height of your shoulder or alongside your ear. I'm going to move the blanket out of the way because for my neck, I don't really need it in this pose. My neck is more relaxed without, but some of you will need something like that, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. Nice and slowly inhale, come on back. Uncross the legs, widen the feet, rest the knees into each other for a few moments. We call this in yoga the sacred pause. We're training ourselves to slow down. We're training ourselves to observe and to take time out of our lives to check in with our body, to check in with our breath. Let's take 2 or 3 really nice full breath cycles here. Let's move into happy baby pose. You can start by bringing your knees in towards you, right? We started class this way, taking the knees wide apart, pulling them sort of down towards the armpit chest. And then from here, take your arms against the insides of the legs. For this version today, I'm going to hold at the shins, maybe close to the ankle joints. You can see I'm thinking about flattening, grounding the back of pelvis and lower back. Soles of the feet facing the sky, and then arms pull downwards. For some of you, if you're on the tighter side here, if the lower back is lifting, then position your lower back first on the ground and then hold somewhere else on your legs, right? Not so important where we hold on our feet or legs, more important sort of the architecture here of the legs and the grounding of the back, right? So about 5 breaths here, and this is also a go-to pose. Really the whole class is go-to poses. And coming out of that, again, soles of the feet on the ground, constructive rest pose. You can see for me, again, as I come to the ground, it feels like there's a little arch in my lower back, right? Or a little added arch. Again, so what I'll do is I'll lift pelvis, use my hands, take the flesh of the upper buttocks away from the lower back. And so when I set back down again, the lower back just feels so happy to be on the ground. When you exhale like that, when there's that natural, big, full exhalation, that's a really good sign that says that you're onto something good. Okay, now, next pose, supported bridge. Take your block. On the lowest height, right, you're gonna bring your feet close to your butt, lift your pelvis up, put the block underneath, right? Really, you don't want the block on your lower back. Just think about where the waistline of your shorts or underwear are, about right there, right? So it's on the back of your pelvis, feet parallel, knees parallel, arms rest at your side, right? So this pose, incredibly therapeutic, and for some people provides really just tremendous relief and decompression for the lower spine. But there are people who I've worked with who are not comfortable. There's no way they do this. It's just not comfortable. So if you find that you're one of those people, just take the block out and just move on to the next pose. Otherwise, we'll stay here for sort of a minute or two. You can always stay a little longer. So the angle of your lower spine here, along with gravity, it feels like it sort of decompresses. Another really wonderful thing about this is sort of the decompression of the digestive system and really everything in the abdomen. Sometimes back pain can be from even constipation, and so healthy digestion can also lead to some back relief at times. In this pose, the breath just feels like it flows really fully, and the belly sort of softly receives it, inhaling and exhaling. To come out, press your feet down, lift yourself just off the block, move it off to the side, and lower down. Again, oftentimes you might have to then move your feet forward or shoulders back again to bring more length into the spine and more groundness of the back. Okay, down. Another one of our go-to poses in this series. Take the strap around the ball of your right foot. Keep the sole of your left foot on the ground. Reach your right leg up to the sky. Right now. For some of you, it'll look more like this with your leg. Mine have a fair amount of flexibility. So I'll straighten the leg. Again, keep the lower back anchored on the ground. Right? We don't want to be doing this or lifting up. Right? Better to have the leg bent and the lower back grounded than to try and straighten the leg and lift the back, or to straighten the leg way out here. Right? So you can bend the right knee into the chest a little bit, relax your hands, relax your arms, and then inhale, press your right heel up to the sky for about 5 breaths or so. And to switch, bend your right knee, put your other foot into the belt, step your right foot down. For this class, we're keeping the opposite leg bent. Right? This is my tighter leg, I don't know if you can see. So I'll try and straighten it, but I'm not going to grip here in the hands. I might bend it again and just feel the whole left side of back resting on the ground. Spreading the toes, and inhale, reaching left heel up to the sky. Bend your left leg, set the strap down to your side. If you need another knee hug or something like that, please do that. Otherwise, we're going to end in constructive rest pose. Soles of the feet on the ground, knees apart, hands on the lower abdomen. And I'd like you to try and focus a little bit more of your attention on your exhalation. Very often when we're anxious or we're in pain, we grip or we hold the breath too much. So just let your awareness feel like you're going to follow the exhalation from your belly button, maybe all the way to your nostrils. Inhaling. Exhaling, you're following your exhalation all the way out your body. You're not pushing, you're not doing anything other than just observing a little more closely your exhalation. Continue for a few more minutes if you have time. This wonderful constructive rest pose, hands on your tummy, following your exhalations to completion. Namaste.